Hi, I'm John Mankey. I went to school in Lincoln View and graduated from Lincoln View, and I work here at UNOH. I work in the dorm maintenance department here, maintaining all of our dorms for the campus. I've been here for about 7 years now. Some of the things that I've done to prepare me for the work that I do here is I went to college and have a mechanical engineering degree. I did a lot of construction when I was going through high school on different jobs, and basically it helps me with things that I do here on campus. Some of the things that we take care of here with the dorms, we do everything that is required with dorms. We do drywall work, electrical work, plumbing work, anything you can think of that can go wrong with your house or your apartment is also done here, because these are pretty much like apartments. Our mornings start off, we come in and work 8.5-hour shifts Monday through Friday. And my typical morning is we come in and we check for work orders, and basically work orders is if the students call and something breaks in the middle of the night and the guy on call, if it's not emergency, they have work order written up, and we come in and first thing in the morning we see what's broken and we go to the dorm and we fix it. Other work orders is we have a guy that comes through and inspects dorms once a month, and he writes up work orders for anything that's damaged that we see is broken so that we can get it fixed in a timely manner. Once I go through and get all my work orders finished, it's a matter of I have different dorms that I've been replacing windows. There might be dorms where they have an older patio door, so I put a new patio door in. And these are all things that we're doing when it's not a different time of the year. There's certain times of the year where we do this stuff. In the springtime, before the summer hits and the kids get out of school, we start preparing our dorms for what we call refinishing them. We're cleaning the dorms out, and when they get moved out, when a kid graduates, they move out, and we go in there and we clean everything up, empty out any trash, and then we just completely remodel. We'll put in new cabinets or put in new countertops, and just get the dorm pretty much top notch for the next batch of students who come in here and live on campus. And that's usually in the springtime. Throughout the entire summer, we're working on these move-in dorms. Fall time, it's a little bit of that, and it's more of just getting our work orders done every month. Then in winter time, our work orders tend to slow down a little bit. We don't go through them quite as much, because that's when the winter time hits and we're getting called in for weather related causes. We all have designated areas that we have to plow at the school here. I plow all my dorms out, and I plow our Racers Cafe, and we have a racer station that I have to plow out, and we got to make sure all the parking lots are all cleared, and we're spreading salt. And it's just, when it's snowing all day, that's what we're doing all day. We're plowing all day long. So that's pretty much what we do here in the maintenance department. Is we're working on the dorms, making sure that they're top notch for all the new students moving in, and during weather time, we're in here making sure that it's safe for everyone to get here on campus. You really have to know, like for this kind of maintenance, there's different maintenances, but for this kind of maintenance, it's more of a construction based. You got to know, a lot of our guys are HVAC certified. They work on furnaces, air conditioning units. You got to know, a lot of construction. Like I said, you have to know what you're doing with electrical. You have to know what you're doing with plumbing. Anything. You got to be handy with drywall work. You got to know how to fix holes and tear out old drywall and stuff like that. It's a lot of hands-on experience that you may not know right away, but the more you work on it, the better you get at it. It's kind of like an art. You eventually can master the craft, but you're not just going to jump in and be able to just do it. It's a matter of over time, learning from your mistakes and not doing those same mistakes when you have to redo something else. If you're doing this in high school and you're working on, carpentry work and stuff like that, you'd love doing this kind of work. That's basically what we are. We're an all-service contractor. We do just about everything and everything, ranging from installing doors and windows and anything you can think of. So if that's something you like to do, working construction and stuff like that, and even working on furnaces and AC units, this is definitely a career that you would really enjoy. I would highly recommend going to school for an HVAC certification. That will definitely help you out in your career in the long run. I would recommend just, anything that you can do as far as, electrical work, any kind of plumbing work, if you can get any kind of certifications into that, experience is the key. The more experience you have and the more knowledge you have, the better off you're going to be at doing this career. Technology has changed when dealing with plumbing. I'm going back and fixing a lot of old copper lines, and they make things easier for us now. They make stuff like shark bites to where you don't have to solder and you don't have to PVC glue. It's just a matter of just sliding it right over the pipe. Drywall, they're coming out with easier and better ways to patch drywall and better tape, and it's easier to sand. Electrical, there's so many different things that have come out that make this job easier and easier. It's just anything that you can see that's new, it's a matter of giving it a try, and if it's something that you like, go with it. And if it's something that doesn't make your job easier, then keep looking to see if you find something that makes your job easier. I took, in high school, I took a lot of math related, a lot of science related classes, and those classes do help. Industrial technology class, any time that you're getting hands-on experience, working with saws and measuring stuff and some things like that, that's going to be very crucial to your learning process as you're coming up and wanting to get a career in this. Like I said, anytime you can get any kind of experience working with any of these power tools, whether it's circular saw or jigsaw or anything like that, that's going to be beneficial for your career in the long run. What I like most about my job is, I've worked other places. I've worked in factories and I've worked in, construction companies. And what I like most about this place is my day is never going to be the same. One day I might be working on drywall. The next day I might be working on electrical work. I might be working on plumbing. I might just be going around and picking up my area and making sure that everything's tidy. I spend a lot of time in dorms. I spend a lot of time outside of dorms. It's like my job is never the same from each day. It's kind of like it's not so repetitive to where your job gets boring. You're always going to be doing something different every day, and that's what makes it enjoyable.
My name is Josh Uphouse. I'm the Director of Grounds here at the University of Northwestern Ohio. I've been here about 14 and a half years, so I've seen the campus grow, basically expand almost 3 times its size. I graduated from Ottawa Glandorf High School in 1999. I started out like any high schooler would. I went from high school to going to college at Ohio State Lima. Ended up going a different route, joined the workforce, worked at a Progressive Stamping in Ottoville for 3 years. And then went another route from there as I was going to school here at University of Northwestern Ohio for business administration. I got into more business work, working at carryout, working in an appliance sales store. And then I heard of a job opening here, and it seemed right up my alley, working with grounds work. Ever since I was a kid, junior high, I worked as mowing lawns, as a typical kid would. As in high school too, I also worked for a business in Ottawa, mowing their lawns at their properties in Ottawa and Leipzig. So it seemed like a natural fit as the campus was growing and they needed someone to take over and develop their grounds side of things in the maintenance department. It seemed like a natural fit to go that route. Well, a typical day here starts at 7:30 in the morning. I try to get here between 7 and 7:10 in the morning until I get clocked in. I check my email. See what's going on for the day. I try to have a plan in place to keep both myself and my student workers busy every day. We do anything from, in the wintertime, we do snow removal, spring cleanup from snow or from winter work. Summer, we're constantly mowing, picking up trash, stuff like that. Any kind of property maintenance you can think of, whatever goes, anything outside for property maintenance. In the fall, of course, we do leaf cleanup. I get my plan going, meet with my students at 7:30 every morning. I tell them what we need to get done for the day. And it could be like getting here into the spring and summer. We're going to talk about the areas of grass that need to get mowed for that day so we can keep on track to get everything done in a week's time. We cover roughly 26, 28 acres of grass that gets mowed every week. And that's on properties here on the main campus, as well as property that we own at Lima Land Motorsports Park, and some other property that we own off of campus. Work I work with 2 other full-time individuals. I'm in charge of the general grounds around the main campus buildings, around the dorms, and then we have another individual who's in charge of the athletic fields. That's more of a specialized area, so he's more specialized in that area, so he takes care of the athletic fields. And then we have another individual who takes care of our landscaping. Our landscaping has grown exponentially over the last 14 years. When I started here, yeah, I took care of the landscaping also, but it just grew so fast that we decided it was time to hire a full-time guy that his main priority is landscaping. When I'm looking to hire someone, I've got some different qualities I'm looking for. They have to have a clean driver's license because they're driving university-owned vehicles. So they have to have and maintain a clean driving record. They have to have, as a student, they have to be work-study eligible, which means that they have to meet certain criteria with that. The biggest thing with that is they have to keep their grades up. If their grades start to fall behind, then they get a little bit of a grace period to get their grades back up. But the bottom line is they need to keep their grades up. That's their most important thing. If they have some kind of background, whether it's with mowing grandma's lawn or the neighbors or agriculture, that's a big thing that I look for. If I see an application come across my desk that someone who has some kind of farming and agricultural experience, then I'll look at that application a lot more closely. As far as budgeting, I do talk with my boss closely about projects that we want to get done over the next year. We try to plan ahead as much as we can, whether it's a new piece of equipment that we want to purchase. You need a budget for that, so you need to plan ahead. Sometimes it's planning ahead a year or 2 in advance. Say if you want to buy a $30,000 tractor, you can't just go out and write a check for it. You need to plan for it. So you might have to wait 2 years for it. As time is going on, you need to add another mower to your fleet. That's not as bad. You might have $8,000 to $10,000, so you can plan a year ahead. Sometimes you'll come across emergency work that needs to be done. Sometimes you can get that slid through if it's something that absolutely needs done right now. Otherwise, you'll plan on doing that the following year, but you still have to budget for it. As far as education, a lot of it is just learning what you learn in life. If you enjoy mowing, that's a big part of it. Snow removal, but life experience definitely help. But high school, you take your industrial arts classes. You can learn a lot just from that, whether you're taking wood shop classes, whether you're taking metal shop, auto shop. When I started school here at UNOH, business classes definitely helped. I learned a lot as far as running a business. With my degree, I could go out and start my own business. And then also learn how to keep it running, because a business has to be able to take care of itself. But then there's other education that you can do on your own. If you're going to, say, get into grounds work, you need to have proper licenses through the Ohio Department of Agriculture. And you can do that on your own, and it's a very little cost. A lot of times they will send you the materials that you need to know for next to nothing or even free. But you need to have those licenses in place so that way you have the right credentials to get the job done, and also to protect yourself from backlash, like if you do a misapplication of pesticides. What I enjoy the most about my job is the diversity. It's never the same every day. We do other things here besides just grounds work. I help in other departments, whether it could be changing light bulbs. We have major projects that come up, changing light bulbs in our auto shops. So that can be a big job. So it allows it to be something different. It's not always the same thing. I'm allowed to work with other contractors that we work with very closely. I'm given a little bit of leeway to make some purchasing decisions, but it's never the same thing. It's always something different.
My name is John Osting. I am the turf specialist here at the University of Northwestern Ohio. My job is mainly to take care of the sports fields and do all fertilizing and spraying on the grass on campus. I graduated from Fort Jennings High School. I then went on to college, to Clark State Community College in Springfield, Ohio, and studied horticulture industries. Growing up in Fort Jennings, I was always involved in the farming ag industry, and then I ended up getting a job for a landscape company when I was 15 years old. I went ahead and did that for 5 or 6 years and decided that that was something I liked to do, because the jobs that I like to do are hands-on. I like to see the finished product when I'm complete. My busy time surely is in the spring and the summer and fall. That's when the grass is growing. As far as the sports fields go, there's certain times of the year when the sports fields get used more than others. So while they're playing on the fields, it's hard for me to work on them. So I have to coordinate times with the coaches of when I can get on the field, when I can work on the field, when I can do my fertilizing. Airifying is a big job for me in the spring and in the fall. And on a field like the soccer field that gets a lot of use, that field actually gets airified 5 or 6 times a year, whereas a typical baseball, softball field gets airified once or twice a year.
Yeah.
My typical day here at UNOH is most of the time I know what I'm going to be doing by the time of the year that it is. And then there's other times of the year when I have no idea what I'm going to do. Things can always pop up at a moment's notice. A coach might want something, we might get an irrigation break. Depending on the weather is a big concern of mine. If it gets hot, we'll get fungus on the grass, and there's certain types of diseases that can absolutely kill a field within just a few days. So a typical day here at UNOH, I get in the morning, check my email. And another part of my job too, while I'm not working on the fields or on the grounds, I also have to do some building maintenance. So the indoor athletic complex is one of the facilities that I take care of, and I do all the janitorial work in there, from cleaning to fixing lights to plumbing. I take care of the spas, I take care of the steam rooms. These are all things that I had to learn as I went along. I've never did any of that spa, steam room work before, so you got to be versatile at no matter which job you have. No matter what job you have nowadays, you have to understand how to use a computer, from email to Excel to Word. You're always writing documents, checking budget figures, and sending emails to colleagues about what's going on. As far as the turf goes, not only do I have to take care of natural grass, but I also have to take care of artificial turf, which is another part of my job that I had never done before. The university installed an artificial turf baseball field, and I'd never been around any of that. So through the years, I've had to learn how to take care of artificial turf. The thing that I enjoy most about my job is being outside, hands-on, and being able to see my final project as I work through the year. I'm the type of person that could never do an office job or be an accountant, or because I have to look at my work and see my finished product. That's where I get most of my satisfaction from.